Good morning, and welcome to our first National Conference workshop on intensive and extensive reading. My name is Nelson Guerrero. There is a great amount of information on this presentation, and you must not worry because I will have a contact made for you at the end of the workshop, so you may request a copy of this presentation through any of these services. Now, I've used quite a few applications and programs as well as different devices to create this presentation. Most of them are free and can be played on all devices. Apple still has some limitations on some flash content. Being safe and responsible online makes you a digital citizen. Obtain your digital citizenship. Visit edutopia.org and find out more on being a responsible and conscious citizen. Technology is here to stay, and we must not ask if we must integrate technology into the classroom, but how to do it best. Successful integration may start with you, as a teacher, asking yourself key questions that will get you on your way. Are you ready? Do you have technology? What kind of technology do you have available? How are you using technology? Are students using technology daily in class? What variety of tools are being used to complete tasks and create projects that show deep understanding? Try to answer these questions when you download the presentation. Also, try to make your integration smooth by mastering some general basic skills like naming a file, saving a file, finding a file, logging in and out of accounts. Ask yourself the questions noted. What tools will push students to a better understanding? How many tools are too many? What desired level of integration do you want? And please, have realistic goals. So thank you for listening. It's time to start our workshop. Bye.
Okay, I hope you understood our intro and all of those little tips that we give you on being a good citizen and how to integrate tech into the classroom. As you can see, we moved from an avatar now to a recorded video. And I'm going to try to do this so you get an idea of how you can transmit ideas through these recorded videos. This is Screencast-O-Matic. Let's continue our workshop. Now, our workshop now is on intensive and extensive reading, and this is in a classroom environment. We have two types, oral reading and silent reading. In this case, we're going to omit oral reading and not cover it on this workshop. We're going to cover silent reading, intensive, and its extensive categories. Let's start with intensive reading technique. The intensive reading technique is reading for a high degree of comprehension and retention over a long period of time. Intensive reading is basically a study technique for organizing readings which will have to be understood and remembered. One may have good comprehension while reading line by line, but remembering is what counts in this case. Intensive reading is not a careful single reading, but it's a method based on a variety of techniques like scanning, the surveying techniques of planning and purpose, and others. I will detail each one of these principles as we go along. Let's look at them. Now we have 6 principles here. We have overview, summarize, test yourself, questions, purpose, and understanding. We will review each principle and then receive web tools for their application. Okay, let's begin with overview. Overview is concerned with reading only the important parts. Overview can use 2 methods. Let's start with surveying. With surveying, you begin, check the summary. You read the title, the beginning, the headings, the endings, and note illustrations. Skimming has greater attention to topic and summary sentences and other cues within the paragraphs. As you get an overview of a long section, you may only survey parts and skim the sections that are hard to understand. Take a few seconds before you begin your reading to formalize or clearly state to yourself what you wish to get from the reading. This is purpose. Find your purpose. Find the reason why you are reading this article, why you are reading this book, why you are reading this manual. Information that you may need when you do start on your purpose. Figure out how detailed the comprehension should be, whether emphasis should be placed on ideas, sequence, specific facts. How long do we need to retain this information? How we use the information is very important for our purpose. Remember, if we have in mind what we are looking for, we are much more likely to find it. Questions. By using questions as headings, the outline can be started before reading on the basis of the overview. It allows the answers to the questions guiding the reading to automatically be summarized as a few brief points. To provide answers to the questions, you should write cues, hints, to remind you of everything you need to remember. Don't write down every point, just important cues that will bring the points back to mind. Understanding. Simply read carefully and thoughtfully. Not only familiar line by line by line. Better a reading that is guided by a purpose and your questions. Those purposes that you set before and those questions that you had set before, let those guide you through your reading. The rate of reading in an intensive reading is varied, depending upon the difficulty and familiarity of the material. The rate is like any careful line-by-line reading. The rate must be adjusted so that the desired comprehension is taking place. You don't want your students going too fast. You want them taking care of every line, making sure that they understand the structure and get the details. Summarizing. Summarizing has to do with organizing the ideas and supporting points. Summarizing should begin in the reading, but generally should be finalized and expressed into notes. Each paragraph usually has one or two ideas or important concepts. It's very important to state in your own words the points you wish to remember. Whatever you write down on your own words, that's probably what you will remember. Test yourself. It is vital to recall rather than just to recognize the answers. If you test yourself apart and check for the answers and you can recall those answers, you will retain them. You may test yourself with an essay or fill in the blank type test. You must produce the answer yourself to be able to retain it better. Testing permits the information to set itself firmly in your mind so that you will retain it better. Now, we can move on to some online resources for intensive reading. In this case, I just brought you 4. There are many, there's probably thousands and unlimited types of resources, but this is what we talked about when we said, what is too many? I think 4 well-adapted websites for one topic are enough. I think one of these websites has over 100 activities, so if you're really going to plan something out, not to be overwhelmed with activity, just set aside 4 nice websites that will help you with that topic. These are the 4 websites that I used, and hopefully this will help us out.